All things to all men, absolutely, except not to compromise.
So Paul talked about, Ray, becoming all things to all men so he might win some to Christ. That verse, I feel like, can be abused sometimes where, I've read a book, I'm not going to mention it, but a guy would take prostitutes out, pay for their time in the car with them, not for sex, but sharing the gospel with them, which I think is a great thing, and drive around for whatever, 10, 15 minutes and then get dropped off, and that's how he would evangelize.
Not great for the neighbors?
Yeah. What do you think, Ray, that scenario, or something that you put yourself in a really tempting situation, but you're going to be witnessing to people, do you think that's foolish, or is there a black and white line for that? Like how do you gauge, like, I become all things to all men? Because I think some Christians can create a holy huddle, say, I'm not going to go out with those people, they're living in sin, and it's like, but so were you. And so how do you kind of gauge that? Become all things to all men. To the Greeks, it became Greek. To the Jew, how do you do that, Ray?
I wouldn't put myself.
Not abuse it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put myself in a position where I'm alone with a pretty young lady. It would just look bad, and it could go bad.
Sure. Now, what about Jesus saying, "I'm the friend of sinners," and he was accused of that, a glutton and a drunkard?
Yes.
So, and when we say it looks bad, Jesus maybe looked bad hanging out with them. I don't know if we just say that's because he's Jesus. That's not us, but. How would you kind of gauge that?
Well, I was just moving up to where Jesus,
sorry about that, Ray.
Jesus witnessed alone to the woman at the well. So there are times you can do it.
Okay.
oh boy, how can I put it? Sometimes I've witnessed to pretty young ladies that are dressed inappropriately at hunting the beach, which everybody is, and I haven't had a problem. And I mean, I can spot a shapely woman 2 miles away. Mm-hmm. I've got a wicked eyes full of adultery. It's just all men are just like that. It's every man is drawn away by his own lusts. But when I'm close up to a woman, looking in her eyes and talking to her about her salvation, I'm just amazed at the fact there's no temptation there. And so we can do it, but I'd be very careful taking a prostitute for a drive in my car and paying her, because it's just not going to look good and sound good, especially if I was asked about it. You paid her for what? Sure. Just to talk with her. All things to all men, absolutely, except not to compromise.
Okay.
You don't become all things compromised. Like, I'm not going to become a punk rock guitarist to reach the punk rockers. I can go and take punk rockers to lunch and win their hearts by paying for their lunch and just showing kindness to them without joining in their rebellion.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Ray.